What's up, y'all? This is Kente, one half of the What Sibling Rivalry, the podcast hosting team. My sister Shonda is sheltering in place, and I am safer at home. We're both doing our part during the quarantine to social distance. But through Zoom, we had an amazing opportunity to interview the Allen family: Harold, Marcus, Damon, Michael, Michelle, and Darius. An NFL Hall of Famer, a CFL Hall of Famer, a brother drafted by Major League Baseball, the sister, three-sport athlete, now an amazing coach, and a Mr. Lincoln. If you want to know what a Mr. Lincoln is, you tune in and find out more great things about the Allen family. We had a great interview, and we think you'll enjoy it. You check it out.
Shonda and Kente.
Yes.
Can you have my brothers kind of elaborate on kind of the power of Lincoln High School? Because I know when I got to high school, I went to Gompin Secondary for academic, but then I played sports at Lincoln, and that's a huge history, and that's a lot of Damon touched on it and Michael touched on it, but I don't know if they realize that once you're there, like generations later, the type of intensity and the power of Lincoln in that community in San Diego, and the way everyone's dynamic with Coach Player and just the history. So that was pretty heavy growing up.
Yeah, tell us about that, about Lincoln history. I don't know any about it. Lincoln is San Diego, correct?
Go ahead, Harold.
Harold just
Harold disappeared.
He'll be back in a second.
Okay, guys. Well, let me tell you, we were fortunate enough at age 13. There was a guy by the name of Roy Reed. Our dad trusted him. It says it takes a village, and Roy was part of that village. We played Little League football with him, and he was a trusted, part of the family. And so our dad would allow us to go to high school games with him. He went to Lincoln High School, and one day he took us to a game. I mean, it was a night game, and it was just, it was amazing. I was 13 years old. Harold was 14, and I think the names like Wally Henry, who ended up going to UCLA, playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then David Lewis, who went to USC. Harold Steele went to USC. David ended up playing for the Chargers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, it was so exciting. They had like beautiful cheerleaders, and the energy was great. But I mean, from that point on, that is the only place that I wanted to go to was Lincoln High School, because of what I witnessed and how the team sort of galvanized the city of Southeast San Diego. I mean, it was an event. So, I mean, from that point on, I wanted to go there. And when you learn the history, I mean, the guys that came before you, Art Powell, who played for the Raiders, and who was a tremendous player in San Diego with Lincoln High School, and he just wanted to sort of take the baton and run with it and stuff like that. So, while Harold initially went to Patrick Henry, he came back to Lincoln High School. So Harold would have to get up early in the morning, 6 in the morning, and bus to Patrick Henry. And you guys know how far Lincoln is to Patrick Henry, so it was quite a ways. And so eventually he decided to come back to Lincoln. And so, we wanted to be a part of the legacy of Lincoln High School, and we wanted to go to the school in our community. So, and then for me, and Damon would have to talk about this though, there was a huge perception problem, right, about Lincoln High School that I personally wanted to change, because, I mean, it was trouble. It was always something negative. Those kids would never amount to anything. And I think through sports, we wanted to change that, and we got the opportunity to do that, because once you end up winning, you have the mic, you have the plan. Right. Certain things and stuff. And so, but I remember because what we realized, that the kids that went to school there were actually good kids. It was kids that used to go to school there and come back and create problems. Okay. And the community that was around that gave us a really bad reputation. So people never really gave us a chance. And so through winning, and again, having that microphone and being able to articulate, how proud, how important education is, and all those other things. We took advantage of. Sports is awesome because you can change a lot of people's opinions. You can galvanize people. You can bring people, like I said, together like no other thing can. And so, for that particular time while I was there, it was huge. So I wanted to be a part of the Lincoln High legacy. And then you look at it. I'll let Damon take it from there, but then the players that followed with afterwards, including Damon, it's just amazing. So,
no, absolutely, because it was during the time of busing, and at one point during the busing, we were all going to schools outside of our own neighborhood until, like I said, it got to the point where Harold came back to Lincoln, not going to Patrick Henry. At that time, I was going, me, Michael, Michelle, we were going to Silvergate in Point Loma, and during the busing, and we had to walk with a block or not a block or two, maybe a mile just to catch the bus to bus all the way to Point Loma.
Wow. So
we were bypassing junior high, elementary schools, within walking distance from where we live. And then eventually when my parents said we're going to come back to our neighborhood, that's when I started going to Lincoln High School games, and not only watching my brother play. Even though I was getting good grades, I failed in PE because every sixth period on Friday, I was at Lincoln High School watching my brother play. So by that time, I didn't care if I got an F in PE. I'm going to go see my brother play at Lincoln, and that's where I started to fall in love with that, along with seeing Wally Henry play, because Wally Henry was special. And see with Roy Reed to see Wally Henry play at night. And so it was I know what school I was going to. I knew what school I was going to play for. And this one particular, and this is how difficult it is when you're dealing with a school in a predominantly, and you're getting the negativity. I went to a Lincoln High School game. It was in the daytime. I think they were playing Patrick Henry, and a fight broke out because Patrick Henry was whooping Lincoln's butt, and then next year, they were jumping on the buses and they getting rocked. So I'm actually seeing this. I'm like, okay, this is crazy right here. They cut the game off. Patrick Henry got on the bus, and then after that, Lincoln never played at home. Everywhere we played was on the road. Wow. And so when I start to come play football, every one of our games was on the road. So we end up, winning 2 CIFs, but every one of them was on home. We never played at home.
I just wanted to know too, because I'm a mom, so I'm just curious, what was your mom like for you all growing up? Because she had to manage a house full of little boys and just one little girl, and you guys all turned out loving and successful. That's an attribute to both your parents, but I just wanted to hear about from your moms, what you thought about your moms and how she had to take care of y'all. Was she a tough mom, or was she more like was she an easy mom, or was she more like she had to make sure? Because I can't imagine she could be easy, but you guys turned it out as well as you did, and as many of you there are.
What I remember is my mother working the second shift as an LVN nurse in a convalescent home. So she would be leaving by 3. Dinner would already be prepared. Father would probably get home between 5 and 6. So at an early age, we did not necessarily sit down as a family Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. Sunday was our big day as a family with grandparents, aunt and uncle. But during the week, my mother worked nights, second shift, my father, carpenter, early mornings. But the funny thing is, when we had 2 parents working, they never missed a game, pretty much, we played in. When you look at the history and the story, there's a time period where my mother and father attended Michael's game on Friday night, drive to Fullerton on Saturday afternoon to watch the play, stay for Sunday weekend to watch Marcus play his first 2 years of the Raiders. That was a routine for a 2-year period Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and making it work. I mean, I we can look back and be at awe as parents. We probably thought we had everything, but the funny thing is we had everything, even though the truth was we didn't have nothing.
It's interesting, Harold. Guys, I don't remember Mom hugging us when I was
I know
a lot when we were young.
Well, you could say both parents didn't do that.
Now wait, Harold. Let me say this.
I got you.
Dad was. Both of our parents was firm, right?
Firm.
And there was some leniency with Dad, right? He'd allowed us to do things that at home, as long as we tell him, or even debating Dad. If he, you guys remember this. If he says, "Hey, if you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong," right? Mm. With Mom, there was like a firmness, right? And there was like no debate whatsoever, which was different. And as I said, I don't remember my mom hugging me a lot. And these guys will tell you now, when we go home, I just turned 60 years old, my mother's all over me, right? But I asked her, I said, Mom, and I know she hugged me, believe me, I know she did, but it wasn't, something that I really remember a great deal of. She says, Marcus, I was trying to raise strong Black men. Mm. And so that was the reason. So she wanted us to be tough just as much as our dad did. So that's what I remember.
Yeah. Like that kind of woman. I understand.
Wait. Well, and one more thing, guys. This is really important though too. I always loved and respect my mom, but you guys remember this, Harold. Damon may have. I don't know if Michael and Michelle did because they may have been too younger. Remember when I think it was the Jackson kid got hit by a car?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Guys, and to see my mother, go from our house to down the street and try to, give the young man mouth-to-mouth resuscitation with blood all over her. I knew how strong my mother was. I mean, I said, man, gender had no strength. I mean, she was powerful, right? And that was one of the things that I remember more than anything about my mom, being firm and tough, and she loves God, but she was tough growing up. She wasn't a let us get away with anything. Damon, okay, we know Dad was disciplinarian. He didn't mess around, but at the same time, you guys don't know how flexible, I guess. I mean, the things that we did that our dad allowed us to do. I mean, at 13 years old, I was driving by myself. He taught me how to drive, and I could drive around the block. And these are the things. And even at 10 years old, Damon had to be we used to hang. My dad had a construction rack on his truck, and we would stand on the bumper,
like they're firemen,
going down. Is it down to 94? Is that what it's called? The 94 freeway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like firemen. I mean, think about that today. I mean, all of us always. My dad would be in jail, and we'd be in foster homes or something like that. But we used to run across the freeway, right? We would say, "On your mark, get set, go." And so, obviously we did that when cars were close, and so we had to see. That's how we got our speed.
I was about to say, that's how you guys got to be fast.
There's 5-6 lanes you got to get through.
We had horses. We had horses in the city limits.
We had animals. Yeah, horses. Pigs.
Yeah, we had horses. Turtles. We had everything that.
You guys remember that huge turtle?
Yeah, we had the turtle.
Remember how big the turtle was?
We had a duck.
Oh.
Yeah.
We had everything. And the some of those things you weren't supposed to have.
we all had rifles. We had a gun. We used to go rabbit hunting. I mean, we had the greatest upbringing. I mean, you can imagine.
It's a good thing Harold's not. It's a good thing Harold's not up for this because he almost shot me.
Harold, take your mic off mute.
We're walking side by side, and I move a little bit in front of him. Harold trips, and the gun goes off. And I said,
Harold has his.
Harold, you got to unmute your microphone, Harold.
I said, Harold, you almost shot me. He said, sorry.
What's the next question, Jay? What's the next question? They're fun.
What game are you gonna play? You say about a game you gonna play?
Yeah, we already were playing it. You already lost the first one, Michael. You the biggest. You got the most trouble.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, on the flip side, who was the goody two-shoes of the family?
Harold.
Darius.
Well, I mean, no, well, yeah, but let's see, Darius came much later, guys. We know that. Darius was born later.
Okay.
But it was
he
Harold.
can't be exempt from the game because he's the youngest, though.
See,
right. He's always perfect, right? But Harold was the one I told you before. He was like the citizen of the month. He was the best student.
Honor roll.
Harold was honor roll. He was the choir director. I mean, he was just Harold. So he ran for public office. It's like, come on, dude, can we just lower the bar just a little bit? So it was Harold.
Okay,
I agree with that.
And until this day, when we need something done, we go to Harold.
Harold has his trophy right there too. Harold has his trophy too.
Yeah, he got his Mr. Goody Two Shoes trophy right there.
Is Harold on or what? Harold's on?
Harold, you gotta unmute your microphone.
Unmute Harold.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm here, Mike. So there goes Mr. Goody Two Shoes right there.
Hey, Harold, you need a lifesaver?
No, sir.
Hey, Harold. Why would Michael bring that up, man?
Hey, at least I didn't want to go hide in the boat.
Wasn't that Marcus? Wasn't that Marcus?
That was Marcus. Hey, Marcus, you should tell that story. You should tell
that story. Okay, here it is.
He's going to starve himself.
Okay, Marcus has his confession. He's going to tell us about the boat story.
Yeah.
And this was interesting. It was always because of Harold, right? And because Harold was so good, right? They would always say, Marcus, go take out the trash. Mm-hmm. Marcus, go do the dishes, right? So one day, I said, I'm not taking this anymore, right? I'm leaving. So I ran away. But all I did was go, we had a boat down near the driveway, and I hid in it, right? And I stayed for a while. Nobody came looking for me. I went back home.
No, but what did Dad say? You're not going to look for Marcus? That's it. Dad goes, when he gets hungry, he'll come home.
It's like everybody's dad.
I did the same thing, and they did me the same way. And I came home, woke up like, where am I? Run away.
Ran away in the backyard. All right, last question. And I think this one might start a little controversy.
A little sibling rivalry?
Yes, a little sibling rivalry as we leave. Which one of you was your parents' favorite?
Oh, no.
Darius wins that?
Darius?
Really?
Oh, Michael threw his hands up.
No, I don't think, no.
Marcus.
Boy first.
Watch this. We had my mom's 80th birthday party. Some of the siblings got in their feelings a little bit. Explain. Hello.
That's after you set up the whole stage.
What do you mean?
You got it on record.
You already know on my stage.
You're the only one that bought a picture of you and Mom.
Yeah,
hey, that's what she wanted.
Mike has all the pictures, guys. Michael has chronicled all the important events in our the history of our family since he's been able to do that. And so instead of getting a picture of all of us, all the kids and mom, he just got one of it. just the two of them, my mother and him. And then he says, "Oh, this is the one mom picked." And of course, you're the favorite. This is great,
oh, this has been great. But Kente, we got to talk about the Bay Area connection that they have too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Reggie Lyles is your cousin.
Yeah.
Yes. Outside of the Raider connection, Reggie Lyles, you guys would come up to the Bay when you were younger, or visit a lot, or? Because
Reggie was our uncle, late uncle's one of his best friends. They were all Sigmas together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we were wondering if you all ever come to the Bay and if you had some, fond memories or funny stories of coming up here when you were little. Because back in the day, it was kind of fun to come up here.
We used to go out there when we were much younger, as a family.
Mm-hmm. Family reunion.
Harold? Go ahead, Harold.
He lived in Emeryville. He lived in Skyline. He currently lives in Novato. So we've been to all three places. Proud of our cousin. He was a police officer back in the day.
Yeah.
And of course, he had a brother named Ricky, who was in the streets back in the day, and they were brothers in the night, dealing with certain things, but yet grew up with the respect and honor of one another. But yet they ran into each other, work and play.
Like the song Family Affair.
Yeah, that's a movie.
Our cousin was also a basketball player, played for the Berkeley PD. He would come to San Diego during the summers for tournaments, and Marcus and I would go watch. Just be at awe at our cousin and looking up to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our cousin Red. We call him P.
So do you all? Someone mentioned a family Bible study on Sunday. Do you all get together on Zoom over on Saturdays and have a?
Yeah, we've been doing it the last 2 weeks. I think we have one today at 3:00. As far as
our family has been.
Is that because of the whole quarantine and the shelter in place? That's why we're doing this on Zoom now. Have you noticed it's brought the family closer together, even though you're close? Doesn't communication since the whole shelter in place?
Yeah. It comes down to, because we're a believing family, and majority of where we come, we're the Browns family. So my grandmother and my grandfather are from New Orleans. So we're talking about the Brown and my grandmother's side, which is 13 children. And so all that family is actually coming together on Zoom to get into the praying for one another, and praying for the situation that we're in right now, right? For the Most High God covering over us. And so it's actually been a blessing to be able to see all our relatives come on Zoom. And we, a lot of us, many different, one of us are having an opportunity to pray, read scripture, encourage one another. So it's been really been good. It's been a blessing so far.
Yeah. And for me as well, because I think, we don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know all my relatives. And then I end up meeting people for the first time on Zoom. So the last couple of weeks. So it's been great. I think certainly this time I think it's gotten people's attention. And I think people are starting to realize what's really important. And so I think we've taken time out to sort of reach out to each other and tell them that we love them, and that everyone's kept in prayer and covered with the armor of God. So that's where we are.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
You all have been great. Yes. You have been great. This is the most fun we had. We didn't know how it was going to turn out with everybody on, but we totally are blessed and honored that your whole family came and connected with our family, because that's what our show is about.
Thank you for allowing us to be in the Allen family group for an hour. So it was amazing. You got the love of all of you is evident. This is what sibling rivalry is all about. We like to get together with other siblings and just see that genuine love and affection and fun and camaraderie that all of you have. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to let us come in and meet with you today.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell you this: Kente's fanning out on here. You guys,
Oh yeah, I'm trying to hold it in.
Once we get off camera,
Yeah.
you're gonna be my dad's all around like, oh, who's on?
Yeah.
Who's on? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because our uncle was Willie Brown, so I was born a Raider fan.
All right, Willie.
Marcus. Yeah.
Willie Brown?
Yes.
Old man Willie.
Old man Willie.
I love Willie, man.
Yeah, he was the best for Marcus. And we had ESPN early in life, so I always watched Damon playing in the CFL. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, so Shonda was like, "We're gonna have the Allen brothers." I was like, "I'm there. I don't care what time we do."
Hey, I want to thank you guys because even in the midst of this, our family coming together and hearing these stories, I think it's just among ourselves. We need to sit here and have this very kind of conversation and allow each other to tell stories that we probably didn't know in our perspective. And the reason why I say that is, one time Marcus and I did a talk, and there's people that come up to us today and said, man, that talk between you, Marcus, and your dad they still talk about it today, Marcus, during the CFL weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus was telling stories that I didn't know, and I was telling stories that he didn't know. And so I think it's that level of information where Darius, the way he grew up when we're out of the house, so he has his own journey and perspective and stories that I think we all should, know to be able to, truly understand each individual of our family, right?
Yeah.
And I think Michael should plan the next Christmas, since Christmas changed with him, and you guys should sit and have that special and plan like Michael.
Hey, relive one of those great Christmases, huh?
Bring back the great Christmas.
No match.
Michael
mini bikes.
Michael owed us mini bikes. That's what Michael.
Michael owes them mini bikes.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, Kenta.
I got one thing to say before I go. Michael, just 1 second. I knew, the first time I knew that I had a special quality about myself is when our house caught on fire, because I ran all the way from Horton Elementary without stopping.
It's not that far. It wasn't that far.
Mike, it's far enough for, hey, come on. Well,
That's a good run.
Michael, how old were you? You were 5? Well, how old were you guys?
Hey, were you at Horton or you were at Gompers?
No, man. They were.
I don't know, because Lonnie was what? Lonnie was.
I was
like
at Horton.
3 or 4, so we had to be.
I was at Horton.
You guys were 5, 6. You guys were 5, 6 years old. I was at.
I think it was 5. We were 5 at the time.
Yes.
Dang,
And
so
so
I
I was 10 years old, Michael, to run from Horton nonstop. I mean, I thought I ran, the quarter. I thought it was
under 4 minutes, huh?
I went to Horton also.
I was flying.
Michael, in other words, your brother's thanking you because you helped.
Yeah.
Showed him his
Try out.
blazing speed. That's when he
I was told walking home that my house is on fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on, baby boy wants to talk.
Go on, baby boy. Little red.
No, I just wanted to say this because this is something that I've always kind of held a little bit near and dear to me, is that I didn't play football at Lincoln. I just played baseball. So Lincoln's not really known as a baseball school.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always heard about Damon's status in baseball and the team that he played. So Damon's team was in the playoffs, which would be what year, Damon? 81,
I think.
81. So when I played in 1995 on my varsity team, that was the last time, like that gap between Damon and 81 all the way to 95 is the last time Lincoln went to the baseball playoffs, and I always kind of held that because it was like you had to have an Allen on the team to get to baseball.
That's right.
Darius.
What?
Who else was on that team? Who else was on that team?
Was on the team.
Wait, who? Michael?
Batman was on the team.
Well, Michael? How you think we reached that plateau? Damon didn't do it by himself.
Hey, Marcus.
Michael.
Batman was on the team. But I was all CIF.
Michael.
But the story is, the story is that Darius brought the team back. That's what the story is.
Okay. I didn't
hear that part of the
story.
Hey, see,
you guys. That's the robbery right there, see? I don't want to be left out.
Michael is the only one self-exalting, right? Everybody else sort of talks about everybody else. Michael's the only. Hey, don't forget about me. Remember this?
He was the baby boy before the baby boy came along. You gotta let you
baby boy.
One more thing.
Before we end, though, we want to give Michael the shout out though, because he did bring everybody.
Okay. Wait, one more thing.
No.
Don't forget.
Standing ovation for Michael. Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Shonda.
What's
up? Michelle also has some accolades at Lincoln High School too.
Well, let's give Michelle her shout out because I do want to hear that too. Before we go, what's Michelle's accolades? Michelle, what did you do at Lincoln High? Because we did get all the brothers' information on that.
I actually lettered in 3 sports. Played all 3: volleyball, basketball, and softball.
Okay. And now you're coaching. Now
I'm coaching. So I actually won Athlete of the Year and also Offensive Player for softball.
She's the toughest and the most athletic among us all.
So I was able to coach all 3 sports. Coach.
Wow.
Well, I can tell you as a parent, your parents are the
only
grand
lefty too, right?
Hey, she's our
and one thing, once you have to understand, there's no left-handed playing third base.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Wow.
So my coach always had the confidence in me to say, Michelle, I need you to play third base, even though because it's difficult because you have to. Once you get the ball in your glove, you have to shift your feet and turn to somebody out.
Right.
So just imagine that.
Wow.
She's the Wilma Rudolph of our family.
Hey, the only thing I was going to say to Kenta, I said, Kenta, I got some pictures, man. I got to see you some pictures the time when we did that thing at Tiffany's fundraiser.
Oh, yeah.
You was hosting the auction.
Yeah,
yeah, I got some good shots of you. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, real quickly. Hey, everybody knows who's the best athlete between Michael and Michelle. Michael's way down on the totem pole as far as talent is concerned in this family. He's way down on the totem pole.
Can I say something? I mean,
say something.
Hey, Michael, thank God for photography, Mike.
Hey, I got drafted in high school, so, a little something.
Michael was a movie actor.
Yeah, I was in a movie with Richard Pryor, baby. Richard Pryor.
Which one?
You can't beat that. I was in a movie with Richard Pryor.
Which one?
Brewster Millions.
Brewster Millions. Go check it out. You'll see me. And John Candy.
Okay.
Hey, wait, one thing. I have to give for the oldest to the oldest. Well, now me and my brother are twins, but I still rank.
Yeah.
I want to give Harold the last word for us.
Yeah.
Brother Harold.
The last
word. Have a connection, but they get the church.
word.
Yes.
Kente, please, I can't hear any of this at Comedy Cafe.
Oh!
Like I tell all my dates, don't do nothing funny, you won't get on stage. A lot of funny up in here.
My brother is a host of Comedy Cafe at Faithful Central. It's one of the best things that the church has done every fourth Friday.
Yeah,
bringing people together for laughter, and you and Your man has done a wonderful job, man. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Hey, so you just gave him the okay to use the material now.
It's already recorded. It's in the archive.
Yeah.
Only thing I say is I don't use any names, so we don't know which Allen it will be.
Well, hey, I just want to say one thing. Obviously, I didn't want to be. I know I was joking about being drafted in the Army. I got great respect. Our dad was in the Navy, guys, so Navy.
Ours too.
Something to be taken lightly.
Yeah. But it's all about love. It's good.
Yeah.
To have an opportunity that my family's all together, and I wish you would have had my mom on here. So,
well,
then you really would have got a laugh.
Yeah, I think we would have needed 2 or 3 more hours for that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We have to do the family edition of the Sibling Rivalry.
Yeah, hey, because you only got just microchips of about the stories.
Right. Well, Michael, we might have to get you to schedule a part 2 for us because part 1 got my whole face hurting. I've been laughing so much.
Sound good.
And thank you for joining us, Michelle, because I was in here. I was understanding what it was like.
Yes.
Trying to get in.
But I can I say something to all my brothers? I love you, and I thank you for each and every one of you. I don't think I get a chance to tell you this, but I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I just wanted to tell you that because you bring something to the table that keeps the Allen legacy going. And I love each and every one of you. And thank you for being in my life.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thanks, Michelle. We love you too.
We love you too.
I love you. We feel like we're the family too. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Hey, only our sister and our mom can break us up like this, boy.
Yeah.
Guys, have a great Easter.
Because Michelle said it. Shonda, what's our podcast about?
It's all about love and what's Sibling Rivalry.
We go, we stay.